Hello friends, so today we'll start reading this book. The title of the book is Say It Well. The subtitle is Find Your Voice, Speak Your Mind, Inspire Any Audience. The author of the book is Terry Juplat, who is the famous White House speechwriter for Barack Obama. So if we'll see about the speaking author, Terry Juplat is a speaker, trainer and author whose keynote presentations and multimedia workshops empower audience with the communication skill he learned as President Barack Obama's longest service White House speechwriters. So all his experience is shared in this book, how to become a good speaker, good communicator. Okay. So he was worked with Barack Obama as a speechwriter for 8 years from 2009 to 2017, and he has crafted nearly 500 speeches for him. Okay, so this is the photo of the author standing with late USA President Barack Obama. Okay, and much more we will know about the author from this while reviewing this book. So we'll do a skim reading of the book and we'll try to know little more about each chapter. Okay, so let's start it. If we'll see the content of the book, we can see it. So in the content, so there is the introduction part, the way we talk. So there basically the author shared his own personal journey, how he became a speaker from a speech writer. And there are 5 sections in the book. The first section is you got this, there are 4 chapters. The second section is the beginning, and there are 3 chapters. The third section is the middle, there are 3 chapters. The fourth section is the end, there are 3 chapters, and the last section is show time, there are 2 chapters, and finally the epilogue. So there are total 15 chapters in the book. Okay, so we'll just know little bit about each of this chapter. Basically, in the introduction part, the author shared his own journey, how he became a speaker from a professional speech writer. Okay, there is a very struggling journey of him. Actually, irrespective of being a good professional speech writer for Barack Obama, he struggled with public speaking for much of his life. Actually, his journey starts from a nervous speaker to finding his voice in the central, that is the central message of this book. Okay, so the author has told that initial days in Japan, in a karaoke bar, so there was an incident that he has to give some a just light-hearted skit to his White House colleagues. Okay, so although it was not a very serious speech, but and it is very simple skit. Okay, but he felt paralyzed and anxiety, and at that time his voice trembled, his hands shook, and he became hyper aware of his nervous. Okay, so and that is irrespective of being a speech writer. He told that he has faced so much problems that time. Okay, so he was very much feeling anxiety when someone told him to give some talk or public speaking. So whenever someone approaches him, he first of all he denied, no, I will not give. Okay, so he has also written in the book that during some live TV shows, he stumbled over his words and went completely silent. Okay, and he has also remembered another instances where his mouth dried up and he was also trembling. So this experience reinforced his belief that he simply wasn't meant to be a speaker. Okay, he has said that this was in his mind, but after, and that is irrespective of being a good speech writer of Barack Obama. So there was a turning point in his life. Everything changed when he unexpectedly received a phone call from a speech writer in Finland, that is whose name was Antti Mustakil. Okay, and when Antti invited him to deliver a keynote speech about the about public speaking to an audience of 300 people, he initially denied, but after that he agrees. Okay, so he reflected his fears and realized that he has spent too long avoiding public speaking. He decided to take the opportunity. Okay, and determined to overcome his anxiety, he applied the lessons he learned from Barack Obama and other great speakers. So that actually helped him to reclaim his voice and inspired him to write this book, Say It Well. Okay, so this was his personal journey from fear of finding his voice to become a good public speaker. So this was mainly he explained in the introduction chapter. Then first section is you got this, and chapter 1 is love your sacred story. And the beautiful quote is, perhaps everything that frightened us is in its deepest essence something helpless that wants your love. Okay, so in this introduction, so in this chapter, the author shares his struggles with self-doubt and compares them to Barack Obama's yearly challenges in the public speaking. So basically, in this chapter, he emphasizes that the core message of this chapter is that everyone has a personal story that can inspire and connect with the others. Okay, so the first step to confident speaking is believing in your own story. So here we have to understand our own story. So everyone has a unique life journey that shapes their voice. So understanding our story helps us to connect with the audience. So this was the central message of this chapter. Okay. The second chapter is say what only you can say. So in this chapter, the author has explained that a speech should reflect the speaker's unique perspective. So basically, authenticity is the key here. That is, speak from your personal experience. So the author highlights how Barack Obama's speeches were successful. That is because they were deeply personal and authentic. If you can listen some of his speeches, you can see he has he connected everything with his own story. Okay, so the author advised the speakers to tell their own stories. Okay, because audience responds best to the original heartfelt messages. So personal stories make the speeches memorable. So this is the takeaway of this chapter. Next is chapter 3. So what a speech really is. The beautiful quote is all the words a stage. So in this chapter, basically, the author has explained a speech is not just words, it's an opportunity to connect. So basically this chapter redefines speeches and explaining that this should be conversation rather than performances. So we should treat, we have also learned that it should be like a kind of conversation as if I am talking with you. Okay, so the author encourages a natural and audience centered approach. Okay, so it should be structured like a conversation, not as a lecture. The best speeches are always simpler, clear, and engaging. Okay, so this was the central message of chapter 3. Chapter 4 is the 50, 25, and 25 rule. If you do not know where you are going, you might not get there. So in this chapter, the author has told the rules what a speaker should do, means how he or she should allocate his or her time wisely. Okay, so the author has suggested spend 50% of your effort on content, 20% on delivery, and 20% on engagement. So great speeches are well prepared but also adaptable. Okay. So the author argues that the best speeches prioritize substance while also considering style and interaction. So the delivery is the matter, but the content is the king. Okay. So this is the chapter 4. Then the second section is the beginning. Okay. And the first part, the chapter 5 is Havam at Hello. So in this chapter, the author has emphasizes the importance of a powerful opening. Just like in everything, anything, the opening matters. Na? So a great introduction grabs attention and establishes credibility. So the opening of a speech determines the audience engagement. We have seen it in many of the TED Talks. Sorry. So start with a strong hook. That can be a story, that can be a question, or a surprising fact. Okay. So first impressions set the tone for the speech. So this is the central message of this chapter. Okay. This sixth chapter of section 2 is be a uniter. Okay. So you have to stand for something bigger than yourself. So in this chapter, the author has shared some of Barack Obama's approach, that how great speeches unite rather than divide. He encourages inclusive and thoughtful communication. Okay, that is very, very important. So effective speaker bring people together even across different divisions. Okay, so that's why we have to be very careful that we have to avoid overly polarizing language. So we have to include inclusiveness. Empathy and shared values create unity. The chapter 7 is appeal to values. Okay, though we see the same world, we see it through different eyes. So in this chapter, the author says that great speakers connect through shared human values. Okay, because most persuasive speech tap into universal values. So Juplat suggests that framing arguments in a way that resonate emotionally. So emphasizing shared principle makes arguments stronger. So stories helps illustrate values in action. So we have to be express the universal values. Okay. So this is about section 2. Section 3 is the middle. And here chapter 8 is speak from your heart and to theirs. So in this chapter, if you will see, basically the author argues that emotions drives effective communication. So we have already learned it from different books. He encourages speakers to be genuine and open with their audience. Okay, so emotional connection is as important as logic. Okay, so we have learned this in ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay, how emotions is play very crucial role. So personal passions make speeches more compelling. Okay, so we have to take care of this point. Then chapter 9 is talk like a human. Okay, this is very important because here the author says that it should be a kind of conversation, okay, rather than a speech. Okay, so we have to very much careful. Okay, we have to avoid jargons or overly formal languages. So overly polished or robotic speeches fall flat. We can remember that the speech given by in 3 Idiots. I have just remember his name. Okay, you have understand na? How he has mocked up the whole speeches and what happened. So basically here the speech, it has to be kind of a conversation, as if we are talking with each other. So Juplat advises that using natural and everyday language so that we can engage the audience. Okay, and then chapter 10 is make it sing. This is also very much important. So our speech is kind of a song. Okay, So this chapter teaches us how to make a speech more engaging through verbal rhythms, pauses, and phrasing techniques. So here rhythm, tone, and pacing enhance the speeches. We have also learned it, okay? And repetition and phrasing creates memorable moments. So the delivery should be feel natural and not forced. So this is about the third section. Okay, fourth section, the end. Tell the truth. So in this chapter, what's happened? In this chapter, this author told that great speaker prioritized truth over embellishments or decoration. So we have to convey the truth, whatever is the truth. So Juplas stresses that credibility is essential for lasting impact. So credibility is built on honesty. So audience can sense insincerity. So telling the truth, even difficult truth, it builds trust. So the key message is that we have to convey the truth, whatever how better it is. Okay. So this is the chapter 11. Then chapter 12 is turn your words into deeds. This also we have learned, okay, in particular tips for communication. So what chapter 12 tell that a speech should be motivate people to act, okay? Words should lead to action. The best speeches inspire real change. So here the author emphasizes that words alone are not enough. They must lead to some meaningful impact. So that is the call to action. When we are telling, the call to action should be clear and it has to be realistic from our speech. This is very, very important. Okay. Then the last chapter, chapter 13 of this section is the only way to end a speech. So as we have seen in the beginning, how to start a speech. So how to end a speech, this is also very much important as how to begin it. So Juplat shares techniques for crafting a lasting final message. So the ending should be very powerful and clear. So leave the audience with a strong and final thought. A great closing line is memorable and inspiring. And now the final section, that is the show time. Okay. So here chapter 14 is make it better. So here the author explains that importance of preparation and continuous improvement in public speaking, that is rehearse, revise and refine speeches. Okay, practice, practice, practice. And after that we have to ask for feedbacks of others and accordingly we can improve. Okay. Now the last chapter is stand and deliver. In this chapter, the author focuses on delivery. Okay, so the author gives advice on overcoming nervousness and presenting with confidence. So confidence comes from preparation and practice. Okay, rehearsal, practice, revise. So as we have learned, we have to do recording and what is the fault we have to again modify it. So that gives us confidence. Body language and voice projection also matter. The best way to get better is to keep speaking. So this is the core message from this book, that is the best way the best way to get better is to speaking. Okay, so this is all about the 15 chapters, and in the epilogue the author has reflects on lifelong process of learning to speak effectively. He encourages continuous growth in communication skills. A speech impact continues long after it's delivered. So reflection helps the speaker improve for the future. So basically public speaking is an ongoing journey. Okay. So this is not destination, this is ongoing journey. So final thoughts we can give that public speaking is a skill and anyone can learn. Okay. Authenticity, confidence and preparation are the key. Show your voice matters and use it well. Okay. Thank you.